what you just heard there was an example of a waltzy 3/4 fingerstyle pattern. And that's something that we're going to be practicing and you're going to be playing by the end of this lesson. Hi, I'm Dave and welcome to Guitar for Beginners. If you're new to this channel, then welcome and thanks for dropping by. As I said, it's in 3/4 time, and what this basically means is that there are 3 beats in a bar. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're looking at a basic pattern, and like the version using 4/4, and check the link in the description for that lesson, we'll be using the thumb and the first 3 fingers. You'll often see these written in the Spanish, where this is P-I-M-A, and the P stands for pulgar, the I stands for indice, the M stands for medio, and the A stands for annular. 8 years in a Spanish-speaking country, and that's all I've got. Otherwise, they're simply known as the thumb, index, middle, ring, or even simpler, thumb, first, second, and third. So for the pattern, we're going to keep it simple. The thumb will be playing the root or the bass note of the chord, and the root or the bass note of the chord is usually on the 4th or the 5th or the 6th string on the guitar. So for example, if we're playing an E minor chord like so, the bass note will be on the E, the 6th string of the chord. If we're playing a G major chord, then if we change there, the bass note, the lowest note here, will be on the 3rd fret of the low E string, because we've got E, F, F sharp, and then G here. So the bass note is generally the lowest note that you can play on the chord. Let's get into the pattern and take it nice and slowly. As I said, in 3/4 time, in waltzy time, you'll have 3 beats in a bar. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But for this particular finger style, we're going to be dividing each beat into 2. And we're going to be playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So let's try using the open strings. For the first beat, which will be the 1 and, we'll use the thumb and then the first finger. So the thumb's going to play the low E string on the 1, and the first finger will play the G string, the open G string, which will be the and note. So it's going to be something like this. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So now we're going to add the middle finger, the second finger, and the ring finger. And these 2 fingers will now play the second beat of the bar. So the first note of the second beat will be the middle finger playing the B string, and the and of the second beat will be played by the 3rd finger on the top E string. And we're going to have something like this. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now for the final beat, the 3 and, we'll now be using the second finger or the middle finger and the first finger or the index finger, and we'll be playing the B and G respectively, and we're coming back up in the direction of the thumb. Those are the 2 strings, the B, G, B, G, B, G, and I always think of Barry Gibb. And so I'm going to play those same strings, just open. I'm not going to be fingering anything. And it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Putting that all together gives us this really beautiful pattern. Why don't you play along with me? So we're just using the open strings. We're using the low E string, we're using the open G string, the open B string, and the top E string. And we're using the thumb on the low E string, the G, first finger, the B, second finger, and the top E, the 3rd finger. And this is the most typical way that we play a basic fingerstyle. So when you're playing the top E string, you use this particular finger, the third finger. When you're playing the B string, you use the second finger, and when you're playing the G string, you use your first finger. And the thumb plays the bass notes, the root notes. And the root notes could be on the 6th, 5th or 4th strings. Even though we're just playing the open strings, it is actually a chord. Which one do you think it is? So we're going to play 4 bars of that basic pattern. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and... When trying to play the rhythm, try and keep it even. If you can, use a metronome. There are many free ones. You can Google it. I'll also leave a link in the description for one that I often use. Don't change the pattern, all right? You don't want to do anything like this. All right, you don't want to do anything like that. Keep it the same. The other thing, try and hit the strings with the same amount of force, but not too much, because you'll get this. And not too soft, because no one's going to hear you. Let's try switching between the E minor and the G. The playing hand will be playing the exact same pattern. We'll be doing this thing here. Also, the root note for both the E minor and the G are on the same string, the low E string. So your thumb will be playing the 6th string, and then it will be playing the 6th string at the 3rd fret for the low note of G. So let's have a go at this. We'll do 2 bars of each chord and repeat that. So E minor, G, G, E minor, G, G, and then we can finish off with the strum of E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and... We can, of course, also go the other way, starting with the G to E minor, so like so. 3 and... Why don't you pause the video there and have a bit of a practice between G and E minor, or alternatively rewind and play along with me. The pattern for this will be the same no matter what chords you're playing. The only difference may be the bass or root note you're playing. So for E minor and G, the bass note was on the 6th string. If you're getting value out of this, why not hit the notification button, the notification bell, ding ding, and keep up with all future content like this one and other beginner guitar lessons. Let's try another change and let's go from G to C. So we know that on the G chord, the root note is going to be the 3rd fret of the low E string. And that's going to be played with your thumb. And what about for the C? Well, if we play the C chord like so, and if you look at the chart, you'll see that the lowest note is the 3rd fret of the A string, like so. The pattern is the same with the 1st, 2nd, 3rd fingers playing the E, B, and G strings, but the thumb is now going from the 6th string to the 5th string, like that for the C chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and... A nice sound we're getting there. Very simple pattern, really simple, but really beautiful. Let me know in the comments section if you have a song that you like that uses a fingerstyle pattern. One of my faves is Paul Simon playing Scarborough Fair. It's absolutely delightful. Check it out. I'll leave a link to that song in the description. And another change. Let's try going from C to D. All right, so we just saw that the C, the low note, the bass note, root note, is on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, like so. And we're going to play a D chord next. We're going to go from C to D. So if that's the D chord there, and you can see the chart, what are we going to be playing with the thumb? Because we know that the 1st, 2nd and 3rd finger is going to do exactly the same. And if you guessed it, let me know in the comments. Yes, it's the open D string. That's our root note. So let's try that there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Let's put it all together now, and we've got 4 great chords: E minor, G, C and D, and they all have a different root note. And remember that you can use this technique with all basic chords. Check out my playlist for all basic chords and let me know how you're getting on. There's the chord progression that we're going to be playing, and this is the one that I played at the very start of this video. It's got the 4 chords that we've just looked at: G, E minor, C and D. And this is a really common chord progression used in many rock and roll songs. And the way I played it is very similar to the way it's played on Earth Angel, that absolutely gorgeous song. Let's have a go at this. You know, this is going to give your right hand, it's going to give your left hand a bit of a workout. And your fretting hand here is going to have to be pretty spot on, really. And so you can, when you practice this slowly. There's no need to rush, because you want to make sure that, especially with the G chord and the C chord, because the root note, the bass note, is a fretted string, you need to make sure you're right there at the beginning of the beat. Otherwise you're going to miss the beat and you're going to miss that note. Also remember, try not to speed up, try not to slow down, keep the rhythm as even as you can. If you've got a metronome, use it. They're very helpful. Remember, you could be accompanying a singer, and as you're playing the rhythm, you want to be in time. Here's the chord progression: 1 bar of each and ending on a G chord. 1, 2, 3. If you're not busy now, why not try my beginner's Scarborough Fair fingerstyle lesson? See you in the next lesson. Hasta luego.